Welcome to the Tattoo Marketing Podcast. On this week's episode, we have a true creative powerhouse in Stephen Hecker, who I saw at the Evergreen Invitational, and he was nice enough to come back on the podcast. And we dive into really how he's able to manage it all, from tattooing, writing books, raising a big family, and staying consistent with his goals. If you've ever said, I don't have time to do this, this episode might change that. Great episode as always. Enjoy.
My name's Stephen Hecker. I go by What the Hecker 88 across my entire social media platform. I've managed to get my Stagnet name across the whole platform. So it doesn't matter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, everything. It's all What the Hecker 88. So,
Got it. Okay.
Multi-award winning tattoo artist, multi-award winning published author, and yeah.
Warhammer
player, Dungeons and Dragons player, graphic designer, and father of 7.
That's a lot, man.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny. I had a guy Ocean on here a little bit earlier today, and we were talking about like work-life balance, still being an amazing tattoo artist, having kids, having families.
Yep.
And try like making sure everything gets enough time.
Yes.
Like, how do you do that with everything?
So the way I do, the way I do it is probably not always recommended, but I don't sleep that much. That's the thing. Realistically, I just don't sleep that much. I typically go to bed usually around midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm usually up at like 6:30 to start the day. I go to work. I will do my tattoos that I need to do. I will either stick around at the tattoo shop and wait for a walk-in if I have time. But even during that time frame, I'm usually working on typing up on my book, or I'm doing stencils, or I'm doing designs for t-shirts and stickers. I manage all of my time throughout the day. I'm not sitting around doing nothing. So whether I'm at the shop waiting for somebody to come in to do a tattoo, I'm still working. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm at home and the kids are playing their video games or watching a movie or doing their homework, I'm doing work at the same time. Unless they're needing me, hey, Dad, I need help with my homework, I'm there immediately to help them out with their homework. But if they're busy playing their video games or they have time to themselves, I utilize that time also for myself. For the most part, most of the kids, especially the 4 older ones, they're always asking me to play video games with them. So I usually spend time playing video games that way with them. That's kind of our way of being able to socialize or spend time together, is we play video games. We'll do Dungeons and Dragons. We'll play Warhammer. We talk about it. I'll usually take the kids out. Me and Jess will be able to take the kids outside and they can play outside. And then when it's time for bed, because especially during the school year, they usually go to bed around 8 for the younger ones, 9 o'clock for the older ones. And then I spend time with my fiance, primarily from that, just some one-on-one time at least with us from there until she's ready to go to bed. And then when she goes to bed, I just kind of work again on my own stuff. So it's more of just having a routine. It's more of being able to know what priorities take place at that time. Family comes first. I make sure I spend time with my kids. I make sure I spend time with my fiance. I make sure that, everybody's taken care of. And then from there, I do utilize my individual time for what I need to take care of based on what I want to work on or what motivation I have. If I've got work coming up or I have a tattoo I got to go, I'll work on the stencil. If I have a little bit of extra time, I work on the book or I'll do designs and stuff. So that's how I do it.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how much time they waste in a day.
Yes.
It's nuts. And like one of the biggest eye-openers for me is when your phone, like a couple years ago, you could go in and look at your screen time and how long you're on each app. It's like,
oh, my phone still does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. Like, you look like, oh, I was on Facebook for 2 hours today. What a waste of life.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. I usually I have mine at least set up for the week. So it's like, hey, you spent this amount of time this week on this app and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And in my mind, the apps that I want to see that I've been using the most are usually Instagram or TikTok, because then at least that aspect. I also know that it's because I'm posting to social media. I'm trying to find trending schemes or whatever, so that my content gets a higher view count than just posting nonchalantly whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
So
at least being productive with that time.
Exactly. That's the thing. So if I end up seeing like, oh, I got video games as like one of the number one the apps that I was spending my time on, and I'm like, dude, I need to focus more on work and stuff. So there is always time to be able to play and have fun, but at the same time, being not even a tattoo artist, but self-employed. That's the best way and stuff. Everybody talks about being a tattoo artist. I even know it's like, it's a tattoo podcast. But realistically, being self-employed, that is like, you're always working.
Yes.
Somebody says like, oh, I quit my 9 to 5 to go and work 15 hours a week and stuff because you wanted to be self-employed. And you have your benefits. You have your negatives to it. You get to be your own boss. You get to make your own schedule. You don't have to report to anybody. You make your own life for what you want it to be. But at the same time, you have to put in that much more effort in order to make sure that you're being lucrative or productive with that time. So it's kind of a take. It's a give and take.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. It really, like, the excuse I hate the most is I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Everybody says it, and it's like, if it was a priority and if you really want to do it, like if I told you, if you show up at this podcast every day at 3 o'clock and we'll pay you $1,000, anyone would fucking
exactly.
do it. You have the time.
Oh yeah.
It's just, what are you doing with it? And like, if you say you don't have enough time, realistically, you just don't really want to do it.
I think it's also a lack of motivation.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, is everybody says they don't have enough time. I think it's more of the lack of motivation for a person to do work knowing they're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get paid for work that they do, which I don't blame them. I'm the same way. But especially when you're self-employed, you got to do work that realistically you're not being paid for, but it's something that's it's important to what you're trying to do in order to be paid.
Yeah.
So I think that's where some people have a little bit of a confusion. I only want to work if I'm getting paid, versus I need to work in order to make sure I get paid.
Yes.
So
yes. Becoming successful, let me know what you think about this. Becoming successful is boring. I mean, realistically, it really is. It's doing the thing that you don't get instant gratification for over and over again for a long enough period of time.
Until it presents itself and you actually are making something out of it.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Doing it is boring. Absolutely. And that's, I think, where a lot of people, tattoo artists, independent writer, anybody who's self-employed, think that's where it kind of dies off. You lose that motivation to continue on. So,
yeah. I'll tell you, I don't know a single actual overnight success. They just finally got discovered after doing the same thing for 10 years, 5 years, putting in the time and the effort and getting really good at it.
Yes.
It's not an overnight thing.
It's not
an win the lottery.
It's not an overnight thing. I have my best friend and I we thought about starting another business, and it sounds good. I want to do it. I have plans to do it. But I got to make sure I have that time to do it as well. So I think maybe in a couple of years, it might be something that we'll look into. And it's something silly. It was just kind of a drink stand.
Oh.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple. Just kind of think of it as like, you have a mobile vehicle and you do coffees, you do shakes, you do floats, different types of mixed drinks and stuff. If I could get a liquor license, I probably would do that. But the idea was to do something along those lines and then be able to do conventions, expos, music festivals, weddings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but everybody, in my opinion, nothing is new.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to work. Somebody is already doing it. It's a matter of being able to have that perseverance and determination to continue with it in order to make it productive.
Yes.
So
100%. And the fact that you have this idea and you're like, you kind of know, like, right now, don't have the time to do it. Because a lot of people get that shiny object syndrome and, like, work on it for, like, 2 months and then give up. Like, okay, this is hard. I don't have the time. And
exactly.
Blah, 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 blah. First, it's not going to happen now. But when I actually can do it, I'm going to.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If I had the money to be able to pay somebody on an hourly to just kind of cover the situation, sure, why not? I can get it going immediately right now. But I don't. I have 7 kids I'm supporting. So I'm doing everything myself. So I think what I'll end up doing is that once I have the cart or even the truck or whatever that I plan on doing with it, and I make it to that point, I'll put in the money for the marketing. And actually, then I can do, and it's designed to be just like special events anyway. So the cool thing about being a tattoo artist is that I can make sure that I schedule my tattoos around those set dates also. You know, hey, Joe Schmo wants to have a wedding at the end of July on so-and-so date. Okay, cool. I'll make sure not to schedule anybody for tattoos on those days.
Yeah.
So it's a passive income, but it's another side hustle.
Yeah.
So.
And, I mean, and that's a great point. As a tattoo artist, you get to set your own schedule. And really, as an entrepreneur or a business owner or being self-employed, you get to set your own schedule and stuff.
Yes.
Again, it's about being wise with the time you have. The other excuse I hear a lot for anything, and this isn't just the tattoo industry, this is everywhere, is like, I have kids, I don't have time. If you can do it.
I don't blame people for that, because the thing is I am very much a family man. I understand that family should come first. You know, in my mindset, you know, God should be number one in your life and everything like that. It's just personal opinion. But family should overcome work. If you're not there for your kids, then where are they learning to develop their skills? Where are they getting the influence or the right and wrong on a situation? I don't blame people if they like, I got kids, I don't have time for that. Totally understandable. But at the same time, again, that goes back to what we were just previously talking about when it comes to time management. Being able to spend time with your kids, such as myself, when they come out of school or their after school program, until they go to bed, there's that time. Are you planning on going to bed at the same time the kids are going to bed? No. I mean, I understand if you have to wake up early and that's your thing, but there's still that time gap that you can still work on doing something to be able to make your job or your entrepreneurship productive.
Yes.
So I don't condone people who say that they can't do something because they don't have time, they have a family, they have kids. Totally cool with it. But you can also manage to work with your time that you have. It's difference between a toddler and a child versus a teenager who's starting to develop their own life. They have their own friends. They want to hang out with their own thing. I mean, my kids are already getting to that point. I've got a 14, a 13, a 12, 11, and then the triplets are turning 10 next month. So they're at that preteen, teenager stage where they already have friends. They want to hang out with their friends. They're playing with their video games with their friends. So as a dad, it kind of sucks. You're being put on the back burner.
Yeah.
But I'm still there for them when they need me.
Yes.
So.
Yes. My kids are 14 and 16, so 100% understand that.
Exactly. You know, as a kid, as when they were little, they wanted to play with you, your dad. They want to have more fun. Now that they're getting older, they have their friends, they have their lifestyle that they're developing. You have a little bit of extra freeway with what you can do, but you know, you're still there. You're still a dad. You're still there to help them. You're still there to guide them for what they to do right and wrong and everything.
Exactly.
Always there to catch them if they fall.
Yes.
So.
To me, like being there for my kids, like I always take my son to school. I always pick him up. My daughter can drive now, so she can do it herself. But yeah, and that's a whole weird. That's so weird. But like I have stuff to do. So in the morning, I'll get up at 5:30 so I can get my stuff done, and it's a quiet house, and like that's when I go to the gym, and that's when I do my other stuff because I know once the day starts, it's taking my kid to school, it's work, it's picking my son up, and then unless he has sports, like I'm spending time with the kiddos.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually when I do my tattoos is when they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
I know as a tattoo artist, our profession is very much kind of an evening job to an extent because people usually come after work, or if you're in a shop that's near a bar, there's a lot of people who drink and then they'll come to the bar and stuff. So you're more productive or lucrative in your business if you stay out open late. I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with it. I personally have, over the years have developed a clientele that know I'm usually there in the mornings to the early afternoons. Kids go to school, or they go to school. They are in part of the after-school program, so I can get my work done during the daytime, and then I'm home in the evening, spend time with them. They go to bed, and I can continue on with whatever work I need to do. So,
100%, man.
Yeah.
Were you always like that? Because I know I went through a period where, when my kids were younger, I wasn't the best at. Like, I loved them, I spent time with them, but I spent, for sure, too much time working, and like, it took a while for me to realize that like they need me when they're home and stuff like that.
Oh, so you're asking if I have ever been to that point?
Yeah, ever had like, or before you got the system where you have it all down, did you ever like?
Nope, I did not.
That's awesome.
I always put kids as my family as a number one situation. I've actually lost opportunities of which I don't relay that information to my kids because it's not their fault.
Oh, 100%.
But I have lost opportunities that could have been lucrative because they take precedence over it. And I believe that, I believe in God. I believe in the idea of karma and stuff. If you do something good, it's going to come back to you. Mm-hmm. So whether somebody sees it as a religious thing, sees it as a faith thing or whatever, it's the karma aspect. You do bad, it's going to come back to you. You do good, it's going to come back to you. I've made sacrifices in my life to make sure that certain individuals are taken care of or that are overseen. And yes, I've gotten screwed out of it, but I don't regret it.
I understand that 100%.
So,
yeah, you still have those memories, and you're doing right by you and your family and everything like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I 100% believe too. If the more good you put into the world, the more it comes back.
And that's what I try to do. I'm here to have, especially with the tattoo and the tattoo convention. I like making friends. I'm here to try and make people's dreams come true, especially with their particular artwork, whether it's tattoos or graphic design or stickers or any type of inspiration for people as well. I try to help. I want to help. I want to be there for people to support them and stuff as well. So,
yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. It took me a few years to learn that.
Well, and it's understandable. Yeah. I thank my dad and my mom for that. They raised me. I feel like they raised me right. So I already kind of had that mindset going forward with my life, that family should be something that takes precedence, and know that you'll be looked after no matter what the decision is that you make. So.
Yeah. I kind of had the opposite. Like, my parents are great. My dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse. Like, they're good people. But my dad had his own practice, so
he's always working.
Always working.
Yeah.
Always working, man. And for the first part of my time as a parent, I was like that too. And it was really like almost like an overnight like realization. Like, I hated growing up. Like, I don't have many good memories with my dad because he was never around.
Yep.
Why would I do that to my kid? And like since then, like my kids are my best friend now. Like
oh yeah.
Obviously they're still the parent, but
of course, absolutely. No.
But
it's the idea that they want to hang out or be around you and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. My kids are my best friends.
Like literally, I had my son calling me today, asking me if I wanted to play Fortnite with him right now. I was like, "Bud, I'm at the tattoo convention. Remember?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We can play when you get back." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
So,
man, I feel like that's when you know you're doing well and you've done right as a parent. When your kids are reaching out to do stuff and hang out with you and have fun, like you know you've done well as a parent.
I agree, absolutely. I think also I add on to that is the level of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Telling him that hey, but I'm at the tattoo convention. I told him beforehand that I was, but it probably didn't. It skipped his mind. But as soon as I reminded him, he understood that Dad's working right now, and we'll play when I get back after this weekend. Like he's totally cool with it. He understands it instead of me totally not telling him what's going on, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
His thing was like, "Oh, all right, no problem. We can play when we get back."
Yeah.
I was like, "Cool." So,
dude, the communication piece, I agree, is huge, because I will say, like, that's how I am, or I try to be as much as I can with my kiddo, and like he's super understanding, like good kid. I couldn't ask too much more.
I think kids are understanding.
Oh, for sure, for sure. As long as you're open and communicative with them, because like
yes,
I had the opposite effect again with my dad growing up. It's just like, no, I can't. I gotta go. Bye. I'm like, okay,
exactly. There's no explanation. That right there immediately is the idea that you're being blown off.
Yes.
Rather than trying to communicate that, hey, I'm busy at the moment because I'm doing this, this, and this, but I'd be happy to do this with you at this time. Mm-hmm. To them, they're like, okay, cool. I'm still a focus in your life.
Yeah.
But I understand that as a parent, you got to support what you need to do to be able to support us.
Yes.
So, and that's what I think the kid, again, that's just a communication thing. So.
It's kind of crazy because I don't know if it's crazy, but we do a segment where we talk to clients, so people that are in the chair normally, and their biggest thing, you hear some wild shit, man.
No, I would agree with you. I've already had my fair share of wild stories as well.
Yeah, so, it's interesting. But they say, like, when they found their tattoo artist and they like it, obviously the art is a big part of that too.
Yes.
But it's the communication, because there's a lot of tattoo artists that are really, really bad with communicating.
I agree.
Will not respond to you, and you're just like, all right, fuck me, cool.
Exactly. And I think a lot of them, and it's nothing to any particular artist and stuff, because I know everybody's got their different lifestyle, but, I've noticed, like, the ones that have no DMs, email only and stuff. I've had clients already who have come to me after the idea that they've tried emailing that person and then they don't hear back from that person. And I understand usually it's because emails don't get responded until so-and-so date. Nothing against it. I know everybody's got their own routine. I know people have their own personal lives that they want to keep separated from their work. Totally understandable. But I agree with you on the aspect that there's that lack of communication between an artist and a client sometimes that,
And even just a little communication, like, hey, I can't do that right now, or hey, it's going to be 4 weeks before my book's open, or something like that, goes a long way.
I was going to say, I think the one thing I know that, because I used to work IT, I know that when you go to do emails, you can have an auto response back. So even having that, if you're having an email only and then you don't open your books for set amount of weeks or whatever, having an auto response to somebody emailing you about a tattoo, I think would go a long way as a tattoo artist for communication. You as the individual, or you as the artist, is not communicating directly, but by sending an auto response that, hey, thank you for your interest in my work. I appreciate it. I'm currently booked up at the moment. I plan on opening my books on said date and stuff. If you're looking to still continue getting work with me and stuff, I'll reply to you. If this is an emergency, something along those lines. I think a lot of clients could end up having more of an understanding, especially if you're talking about when it comes to artwork. I know phenomenal tattoo artists who do amazing work, and I'm pretty sure they're booked out for weeks or if not months at a time.
Yep.
As a client, I think a client should understand that, knowing that kind of work, somebody's going to be booked out for a good amount of time. If you're expecting a reply in like the next couple of days,
yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah.
So
yeah, I do love the autoresponder thing, and like
I think it's a good idea with that kind of a thing. And I think a lot of people did that, especially if they're setting up their scheduling as an email only. I think that ends up helping a lot with the communication.
Oh, it does, for sure. For sure. Getting nothing back, like you said, it makes you feel like you're being ignored, and then you just
I've had clients.
shitty.
Yeah, I've had clients who have emailed other artists, and then they get no response back, and then they email me, or that they'll DM me. I actually still have my DMs open personally, and stuff. It doesn't bother me. I always tell people, I'm like, usually I reply within 24 to 48 hours, but I have that set up, and people will reply, and I'm pretty quick about replying back, and they're like, oh my god, you replied quickly, and I was like, yeah. Is that a problem? I'm like,
it really shows you how little it happens when people are surprised that you get back to them like
almost
quickly.
Very quickly as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was looking to get this work done, and I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll talk with them, and it's not until I'm doing the tattoo that I find out they were trying to contact somebody else, and then I was like, do I feel bad because I just took this person's client? No, I don't, because I don't know. I have that level of charisma or communication that they were seeking. They were looking for it. So,
and really, it's a basic human level of communication. Like, you're not going like crazy above and beyond or anything. Like, as humans, that's
just talking.
Yeah, it's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be super hard.
I can understand somebody. Okay, using it as an example, let's say Steve Butcher. The dude has almost 1 million. If I'm not mistaken, he's already got like 1 million followers on Instagram. Someone of that nature, I could understand not wanting DMs, because even if he did reply to his DMs, your DM could end up being overlooked because 100 people emailed or DM'd him after you already did.
Yeah,
I could understand that kind of a situation. I personally have a little over 6,000 followers. I can still manage my stuff.
Yeah.
So I think there's also that level of magnitude and how often they're being contacted as well.
Yeah.
So
100% agree. There's sometimes you can't. But for the most part, most artists
there
should be able to.
It's no different than like you're saying with time. There are ways.
Yeah.
As long as you can think of it, there are ways you can do it.
Yep.
Even the email, having an auto response, that is just that extra step of communication.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're never going to hear a client complain about over communication. At least I've never heard anyone say that. Like, you communicate too well. I don't like it.
Oh, absolutely. You know? I know there's also artists who have assistants or secretaries and stuff that do a lot of their handling of their social media.
Yeah.
I know a phenomenal artist. I've gotten the pleasure of working alongside him at several conventions, and I go and visit his shop. Actually, I think I've done it like 2 or 3 times now. You have Ben Ochoa.
Mm-hmm.
Love the dude. He's amazing. He's direct with you. When I went there and I showed him my work and I asked for his advice, he was very direct about what I should be working on and what I do it. But he was honest. He was open on his communication. And I know he has a personal assistant of whom, when I was doing emails or communicating, it was through that person and not through Ben. But when I'm there at his shop and I'll visit his shop, he's open and upfront. He's honest. He's totally talkative, communicative. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
and a couple things just really quick to touch on. I know I've taken up a ton of your time. I won't take you too much longer. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Setting up an autoresponder is extremely easy. It takes you less than 5 minutes, and you have it for as long as you have an email.
Yeah.
Everybody should have that. You can also do that, and something that we have set up with shops is like, if they miss a call, there's plenty of systems you can set up where they just get a text message saying, hey, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're not by the phone. Just a text message that goes out. People appreciate that so much.
Absolutely.
It's huge, man.
Yep.
And I know when we talk about personal assistance, there's going to be a lot of artists like, I'm not at that level. I can't afford it. You can get a personal assistant in Colombia that works part-time and just checks your emails and stuff for you for $200 a month.
Yep.
That speaks perfect English. and like are great human beings. I've worked with them before.
Yes.
Anybody can do this stuff. Anyone can do this today.
It was no different than what I had mentioned. Everything has been done.
Yes.
Which means there is always potential for somebody to be out there to help.
Yes.
So, I personally have used Fiverr. I've used, ArtStation.com as well, which is kind of like it's a job site, but for artists.
Oh, okay.
Comic books, mangas, graphic design, everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. Same concept. It's kind of like Fiverr, but it's more directed towards art and stuff.
Okay.
There's somebody out there that can help. I understand people financially sometimes can't do it, but if you look or you put a little time into your work and stuff, you can find the stuff you need.
Yeah. I mean, if you're spending, let's say, $200 a month on somebody to check your emails, I guarantee you get at least one more tattoo a month out of it, which is going to pay for it.
Absolutely.
If you get one, you just need one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to thank my fiance as well as my brother this weekend because I'm focused on doing the tattoos, and instead of having to constantly look to the front and communicate with the person at the desk, they're there to help, and my brother's already got me booked out for the rest of the weekend.
That's badass.
My fiance has done it on numerous occasions with all the conventions that she's gone with me to and stuff, where I'm busy doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is tattooing, and she's selling our merchandise. She's setting up tattoo appointments. They know how fast I can tattoo. They know my schedule. And I'm like, I'm done. Okay, here's the next person. Oh, damn. All right, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Got another one.
Dude, a little bit of help goes a long way.
Absolutely.
It really does.
So,
I'll let you go, but quickly, if you want to say, I know you said your socials, if you want to say them again, and then where can people find sweet-ass hats like that?
Oh, so again, my name's Stephen Hecker. My entire social media platform is whatthehecker88. You also got whatthehecker88.com that you can literally hire me for any type of commission work and stuff. As far as the hat goes, this is actually my fiance. She goes by Mouse. Her name's Jessica. But you can actually find her at Little Bit Crochet. Crochet.
Okay.
So you can actually, even if you were to find it on my social media, she has a link from my Instagram to her Instagram on top of that. So.
Perfect. So she does hats and little figurines.
She'll do plushies. She does animals. She does little, infant shoes and headbands. She'll do beanies. Like, she does it all.
Okay.
So
that's awesome. I love that hat, man.
Right?
Awesome.
I was like, she was like, "Are you gonna bring it?" I'm like, "I'm gonna bring it," because I didn't bring it to my last convention. And I felt bad. The reason why it was stored away in the boys' room, and I forgot about it, and then I saw it, pulled it, and I was put it on my station, so I did not forget it this time. That's why. And I've gotten, I think, probably 30-something compliments already today alone from it. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing. She did a great job with it.
It is awesome, man. Yeah. I'm gonna get some stuff for my kiddos.
Oh yeah,
it's Magikarp, right?
Yep, Magikarp.
I love it.
I think we were saying if she could try and do a Gyarados one, would be cool.
That would be cool.
I think the Gyarados one, same concept. You just change the colors, and instead of the fin, we probably extend out a little bit longer and stuff, just because the arrows got that longer body. But pretty close on the same concept. So I think it'd be pretty cool.
It's badass. All right, brother. I massively appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Sweet. I appreciate you, sir.